We have to make sure that we're always in tune with God and making sure that our thinking is like His. The story is called Jesus Feeds the 5,000. In this story, Jesus is preaching in a deserted area, and he's preaching to these people, and it's getting late. And so disciples tell him, hey, maybe you should send these people out to a nearby town so they get something to eat. And Jesus says, you give them something to eat. And they say, all we have is 5 loaves of bread and 2 fish. Jesus says, give it to me. So he blesses the food and he starts giving it out. And by the end, everyone there is full and satisfied, and they even have 12 basketfuls of bread left over. What the story really teaches us is more than anything is that we have to make sure that we don't put human limitations on God. Matthew 14:6 says, Jesus replied, they do not need to go away. You give them something to eat. If I was one of the disciples, I would have had the exact same reaction. There's not enough food here. We have to send them out to make sure that these people eat. If anything, the disciples were looking out for the people, but they weren't thinking like God. He'll make the impossible possible, but we just have to believe and have faith. We have to pray that our thinking reflects His, that we think beyond the human scope and see how God sees it. You might think, my family members will never come to Jesus because we put those human limitations on God. Instead of having those negative thoughts, we should pray that God does bring those family members to Him and that we continue to just believe that He will make it happen instead of just accepting that's the way things are, but actually challenging ourselves to think like God and to see beyond what we can see.